Hi everyone, welcome to the NBS Open House talk on platform-based learning as well as international trading program. My name is Lee Boon Keng. I am the Center Director for the Center of Excellence in International Trading as well as the Center for Applied Financial Education. So just briefly, CEIT, we take care of the ITP, whereas CAFE, which is CAFE, which is of course the Center for Applied Financial Education, takes care of the platform-based learning PBL track. So both of these tracks are within banking and finance, but for the ITP, we do have students coming from maritime studies as well as engineering, in addition of course to students from the business school. So today I have students who are right now within the ITP program. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves. So why don't we start from Huang?
Hi, thank you. My name is Huang. I'm from computer science and my business track specialization is ITP.
Hi guys, I'm Cheyenne. I am in the business course, but banking and finance, and I specialize on ITP.
Hi guys, I'm Yi and I'm from maritime studies and I specialize in ITP as well.
Okay, thank you very much. So why don't we start with the very first question. Perhaps this time we start from Yi here. As a maritime student, what attracted you to ITP?
Okay, as a maritime student, I learned about how do we move a good from a place to the destination, and I feel that ITP is very similar in a way that because it's about commodities and it's very highly related to shipping, where I have to ship commodities from one end to the other end of the world. So I just felt that it's something interesting for me to venture into, and it also exposed me to more options in the future.
How about you?
For me, because I'm in the banking and finance track, so usually we'll learn more about equities and bonds and all, but the commodities track actually kind of exposed me to a different sort of market, so I thought it was kind of interesting, and yeah.
Good, thank you.
For me, being in computer science, it gives me actual capability to implement the system of commodities. So anything from data gathering to ship operation to scheduling. I feel like this will have a great opportunity for me to apply my skills in computer science into the commodity market. So that's why I chose ITP.
Thank you, Huang. Well, just to add on, I mean the ITP also offers a minor that is open to all engineering students as well as business school students. So what you need to do essentially is to finish all the ITP courses. I think there are a total of 16 AUs, and that will also allow you to enjoy some of the, I would say, privileges we give to some of the ITP students who are specializing in ITP. This includes, for example, sometimes when we go on an experiential trip, right? Those people, students who are also minoring, if you declare that as your minor, right? We also subsidize your trips just like a specialized student. So this is to encourage more engineering students to take up ITP as a minor. Of course, we also encourage accountancy students to do so, who wants to specialize in ITP. With respect to job opportunities, most students think that ITP is just you end up doing trading and paper trading, especially. Fortunately, right, it's not just that, because ITP essentially train the students so that they can do jobs in the entire value chain within the commodity complex, right? So it includes operation, risk, trading, and I think that's an important understanding that the commodity trading per se is not just about sitting in front of a computer and trading in futures and options. Although, right, that is a very critical part of managing the risk in the trade. Okay, so let me look at another question. What is the difference between the ITP in NTU and the SMU's international trading program? So as you know, SMU already has a program that is quite established, right? They started in 2007. We started about only 4 or 5 years ago. And I would say that the major difference between the ITP in NTU and SMU comes mainly from these two gentlemen here, right? In SMU, there is no engineering department, neither is there a maritime studies department, where you can get the kind of multidisciplinary interaction among the students. So a person like Cheyenne, who is from business school, right? She will get to know people from engineering, maritime studies, and when they do projects together, there is a little bit of peer-to-peer learning that is extremely critical. One of the reasons why we started the ITP in NTU is actually coming from industry, from the industry. So the corporates who have been supporting the SMU program basically say that, look, they're also looking for people who have some engineering background, have some maritime background, and they couldn't really find that in SMU, so they've come to NTU, and when we launched this program, it was very well taken, and I believe that most of our students who have graduated so far from ITP are relatively well placed. Okay, I have another question here that says that we have many ITP corporate partners, and is employment confirmed upon graduation? Wow. So right now we have a total of about, I think, near to 35 corporate partners, and I would say quite evenly distributed among the 3 major segments within commodities trading. So we have companies in the oil and gas, the energy sector, we've got companies in agriculture, and we've companies in mining as well. So these 3 groups of companies, right, essentially would come forth, right? And I think the very first thing they do is to offer internships. All right, so we have the center, the CEIT, have got very good working relationships with these companies, so that whenever they're looking for interns, they will then come to us and we can help them shortlist some of the students that would essentially meet what they're looking for. Okay, so over the years, what we have been very successful in is encouraging more of these companies to start an internship program. And more of these companies are now having internship program that ultimately ends up as a full-time conversion. Okay, so I think are jobs guaranteed? Of course not, right? Sometimes it depends on the person, right? Sometimes it depends on demand. I think some of our students, have we got any interns done yet? How about you, Shane? You planning on any internship, or have you done?
Going to do this summer with Wilma.
Oh, Wilma, okay.
Yeah,
great.
so it's agribusiness, so they're dealing more with agri commodities. So as an intern, I believe we won't dive straight into the trading, because to do that you need a certain amount of experience. So for an intern, we do more of learning about the operations, and yeah, it's the overseas-based intern, so they actually do give you on-the-job exposure to their different refineries and plantations to show you like the finished product from what was the raw product.
Have they decided which country you're going?
Yeah, I'll be going Myanmar.
Myanmar.
Yeah.
So just for your information, Wilma, of course, is one of our major corporate partners. They also have this thing called the KKH Scholarship, which of course offers our student overseas internship experience together with some stipend. And so far, I think Myanmar is a very popular country that the KKH Scholarship recipient go to. I think this year, if I'm not mistaken, there's a student going to Ghana. How about you, Ichi? Have you done any internship?
No, I have yet to done an internship, but in the summer I'm also having an internship with Vilma,
Right.
and I'll be going to India.
Right.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we do within CIT, of course, is that we subsidize what we call our experiential learning trips. So each year, right, we bring students, a group of students, or two groups of students, I should say, twice a year to different countries where you will get to see firsthand, right, some of these processes within the commodity space. So Indonesia is a popular place, and then we bring students to Australia, where we see how mines are. South 32, one of our corporate partners, operate alumina mines. So they go out there, we get to see how the mines are operated, all the way from refinery again to shipping. Now, in all these trips, right, students also get to interact with other companies, right? Or in Australia, right, you too can get a talk, right, that's perhaps conducted by BP, right, on energy and then all these things on the coal space, on gold, etc. Right? So we don't treat our students differently from minors. So, but all we want is that you declare that you want to take this as a minor. Okay, there's a question that asks, how is taking ITP different in business and in maritime studies? The number of courses you have to take is the same, right? Difference, of course, is that if you are specializing in ITP within banking and finance, you do have a series of banking and finance courses that you have to take, right? If you are specializing in maritime studies, of course, you have a bunch of maritime studies courses you have to take in addition to the ITP. One of the major differences is the following. If you are in maritime, right, you have to take both trading Incoterms as well as ship chartering as two separate courses, right? And you have to finish them. Whereas if you are from engineering and business, we actually combine these two courses into I believe, a 4 academic unit course, right? So that the students from business as well as engineering will get to learn about Incoterms as well as ship chartering. So that is one of the main differences, besides the fact that you have to take all the 16 AUs within the ITP. So perhaps Cheyenne, you want to share what you think about so far about some of the courses that you have taken within the ITP.
I feel that as a business student, the school actually does give you a very nice blend in a way that it's important. For example, the example they give earlier, that it's important for us to learn about Incoterms as well as shipping. But for the maritime people, because it's maritime, they do two separate. So it's more in a way we do a more not to say surface, but in a way a more brief kind of
but it gives you exposure.
Yeah, it does give you exposure, but because of the nature of banking and finance, so I feel that the school actually does give you a very good balance of it. So it fits your main course very well, the whole ITP thing. Yeah.
How about you, Ichi? What do you think about maritime studies? Any difference from the business?
I think for maritime studies and business, both of us have to complete 16 AUs, but for maritime studies, right, for trade Incoterms and ship chartering, they are mandatory modules that as a maritime student you have to take. So technically we are taking less modules compared to like business side.
Okay, before I jump to PBL, perhaps again a round of talks from you, maybe starting with Ichi. What do you think is the best thing that you got out of this, and would you go out there and encourage more of your maritime students or any students to join this program? And the same question applies to all of you.
Okay, personally as a maritime student, because it's very correlated to ITP, and I believe that specializing in ITP actually increase my opportunities to to increase my employable and opportunities in the future, and I can work in like commodity companies instead of just maritime firms. Because when I go into maritime, my mindset was, okay, I'm gonna work in a maritime firm in the future, maybe like in a container, in a liner company, or maybe in a port. But because of this ITP specialization, right, I realized that there's a lot more places where I can work. I can work for Wilma, I can work for ExxonMobil, and to go and go forth. Yeah. So I believe that in general, maritime studies students should specialize in ITP because it really opens up many more opportunities for me.
Yeah. How about Sherry?
For me, I think that for me, I'm actually quite interested in current affairs as well. So the commodities industry actually gives you that kind of a very good, it incorporates very well because everything is based on whatever is going on. So for someone who likes current affairs, it actually allows you to kind of blend in a sense.
Right.
Yeah, and also it gives you definitely exposure to more opportunities with commodity firms. So as a business student, you may look to, maybe for banking and finance, you may look to like banks or like normal businesses, be it like Shell or ExxonMobil and all. But having that commodities advantage for this kind of firms actually gives you kind of an edge on it. So I feel definitely it's very beneficial. Yeah.
How about you, Mo?
For myself, being in engineering, or specifically computer science, I feel like specializing ITP gives me an ability to like basically engage in different areas in the value chain. So I can be either working in the delivery or working in the sourcing or pretty much any area of the commodity industry. So having this expand my skill set, so I can be very employable in the business world as well as engineering as well as even maritimes. So I do believe that a lot of engineering students should consider ITP as a specialization because it gives you opportunity to really dig in on like one of the main areas of work that you can specialize in. Yeah.
Thank you. Well, as you can see, right, ITP does open up more doors. I think that's an essential part of what we're trying to do. So as we open up the doors, we also try to train you so that you are job ready. Okay, so I got a question on PBL that says regarding platform-based learning track, do other banking and finance students learn those tools, or they also can learn if it's exclusive? Well, okay, let me just briefly talk about the PBL track. PBL track is one of the 4 tracks in banking and finance. So platform-based learning essentially has 16 AUs, 4 courses. The first 2 courses are taken in the second year, and they are global financial markets and investment product. The other 2 courses are taken in the third year. They are portfolio management and analysis, as well as issues in global financial markets. So yes, we do require students to train themselves so that they are somewhat power users of these 2 platforms, Bloomberg as well as Refinitiv. Coincidentally, right, within ITP, right, we also train these students so that they know how to use Refinitiv, which used to be called Thomson Reuters, as well as Bloomberg, perhaps more focus on the commodity space. So within PBL, of course, we look into the usage of these platforms, but perhaps in the area of analysis of the financial markets. But just to be sure, right, these platforms are tools, right, which the industry uses anyways, all right, and we're just training you in how to use these tools. But the course is not just using these tools. So the first 2 courses, 2 second-year courses, are actually open to any students within banking and finance. So a student like Cheyenne can also sign up for that course if she has the bandwidth, right? But the last 2 courses require you to actually produce financial applications, right, that you have to code into a financial application, including a user interface to solve some financial issues, all right? And the other course actually requires to code out a systematically managed portfolio, all right? Now, all these applications will then be pitched and judged by industry specialists. So over the years, we have been very fortunate to get judges from GIC, from sometimes from MAS, from Bloomberg, from Refinitiv, and from Diamond Asia. Those courses, you will get coaches to train you, right? How to code, all right? How to develop, try to coach you or help you in a way that you complete your projects. So we invite industry specialists to come and teach you some of the things that are very practical, right, in various asset classes. So you could have somebody coming and teach you on fixed income analysis, fixed income investment, even fixed income sales, right, equity analysis, FX trading, all right. We have people that come and talk to you about a very special topic, for example, ETFs, all right, you know, and then private equity. We'll have 2 workshops on private equities soon, and then of course we also have somebody who can come and talk to you about portfolio management. So those are the things that we do in the last 2 courses, okay? Over the years, we've got about 3 or 4 cohorts who have graduated. I would say that they are all very well placed. We have students who are placed in Point 72. We have students who are placed in Goldman, JP Morgan. So, okay, I've been told we are out of time. So thank you for joining this info session.